interviewing Dr. Patricia Butler. She's my mother. She's an author, an artist, professor, actress, mother, lay minister, and the list goes on and on. Today we'd like to hear a little bit from her about the struggles that she's had over life and all the accomplishments and great things she's enjoyed. Hello?
Hello.
First we'd like to start off with hearing a little bit about your childhood.
Oh, let's see, I was born in Denver, Colorado. I had an older sister that was with me, and a younger brother that I played with a lot. I thought of him as my toy, so we had a lot of fun until he figured out that he was a boy. And so that's what I had at home.
You had an older brother also, correct?
And an older brother also. He was so much older than I that he was in the service, but I hadn't seen him. And then when he came home when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I was very excited to see him. He was in World War II.
Okay. What was life like back then?
My father owned a restaurant, and it's called the A&A Restaurant. And I used to go there when I was about 4 or 5 and just run around while he was serving the people. But they were very famous for their chili at that restaurant. After that, my father decided not to have the restaurant anymore, and he became a man who painted walls and washed walls and shampooed rugs and furniture. And he made a really good living for us at that time.
What was your spiritual life like?
I was a member of Shorter AME Church, African Methodist Episcopal Church. And I was very busy all the time there. I was in the Sunday school. I sang in the choir. And I laugh right now because nobody wants to hear me sing. But I used to sing a lot when I was there. I remember singing in the balcony the Lord's Prayer. And everybody looking up at me. So I used to sing in the junior choir. I just did a lot of things at church.
And what were your parents' names?
Theodore Roosevelt Adams and Beulah Adams. Beulah Opal Adams.
I know that Beulah had started a group for young ladies, and you named it. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, she got together a bunch of teenage girls and wanted them to march in parades and dance and do plays or what have you. And we were trying to think of a good name, and we named them the Esquilites. The Esquilites, the exquisite and cool. I'm the one who made that up.
Later on, you went to college.
Yes, yes. I went to I started out, trying to think where did I start? Yes, I started out at University of Colorado. No, I didn't. I started out at a junior college in Colorado. And then when I got to my junior year, then I transferred to the University of Colorado. And I went on through until I got my bachelor's degree at the University of Colorado. I moved to Las Vegas. I took a position as a Spanish teacher. And then I went on back to school to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and got my doctorate degree in higher education administration.
What was your drive to become an educator?
I enjoyed teaching people. I enjoyed talking to them and getting them to feel bright and light after they learn a lot of things.
I know that you had opportunity to travel over your lifetime. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, before I left Denver, I used to work for a travel agency for airline. It was a Frontier airline, and so we got some free travel. So I got a chance to go a lot of places. Went to France and Spain, etc. But while I was working on my master's degree, I decided to go to France, and I took my son with me, where I studied French. My major was Spanish, but I couldn't get into the program for Spanish, so I went to France and studied French in Aix-en-Provence.
A little more about your career. I know that you originally wanted to be a teacher, but I think things changed and you ended up doing other things. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yes, when I got the position at Clark County Community College, which changed to College of Southern Nevada, I got a chance to do administration, so I was the director of student financial aid for a long time. And then from there, I went back to teaching again, and I became the director of student development, which is really like all student services is what I was doing. And that's what I did. And then after a while, a president came along and he said, "You didn't want me to do that anymore." I thought maybe I'd go away. So I became, I went back to teaching Spanish again.
I know that at time things were rough in that atmosphere, but you seem to get accolades all the time and awards and things like that.
Yes. Yes, I remember getting an award for helping people and doing what I was doing, and that same president who didn't particularly like black people and was trying to demote me and move me out of my office and everything, but I was still doing well. And when everybody applauded me and was so happy, he came over and gave me a hug. I thought, make up your mind what you want.
What are some of the accomplishments that you've had?
Now, that's hard to think about right now. Well, let's see, I have a doctorate degree. Well, it's hard for me to think about my accomplishments. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know that you were written up in the Who's Who of America
Yes.
for linguists.
Yes.
I know that most things that you put your mind to, you end up being a big part of it. Like instead of just going to church, you became a lay minister.
That's right. When I came to Las Vegas, they had classes for practitioners, is what we call them, or lay ministers. And so I went on and became a lay minister. And lay minister assists the pastor and helps all kinds of people, praying for them when they need prayer, visiting people in the hospital, giving classes. I gave classes at the church in Spanish for people because we had a lot of Spanish people coming to the church and they wanted to speak to them, so that worked out pretty well. There are just a lot of things. Whenever you decided you wanted to do that, was kind of nice at the church when you're a practitioner. That's what you could do. So I did different things, you know. We had dinners to raise funds for the church, and so I was in charge of one where we took everybody to an Italian restaurant, Buco di Beppo, and enjoyed all the food there. But each person paid a whole lot more to come to that, and the extra money went to the church. And of course, paying for the food itself, I had to pay for, but that was okay.
I remember, this is taking a little step back, but back when you were still in school and you went to Otero College to do your internship, I can recall that you would go out into the fields and help the migrant farm workers learn to speak English.
Oh, that's interesting that you remember that. I had forgotten that. Yes, I did. I would go out there and talk to them and help them too.
Yeah, for me personally, it got me closer to people that weren't like me, and it introduced me to a whole new world, and it really changed my perspective on things. And I think that's something that you have done through your whole life, is to give vision to people that might not have seen it otherwise.
I tried. Thank you.
What are some of your favorite things?
My favorite things. Oh, let's see. I like to act. I like to help people with prayer. I like to dance. I really like to sing. A lot of people want me to sing so low they can't hear me, but when I was teaching, I would sing the songs, and the students didn't mind. They weren't worried about my voice at that time. My mother had a beautiful voice, and so I wanted to sing like her, but I didn't get her voice.
Do you play any instruments?
Oh yes, I played recording. I did recording band when I was in Denver. And they had they had a concert band and they had a marching band. I was in both of them. I used to play I'm Kind of Not Music on my accordion.
Beautiful. With your acting, I know that you did a couple of movies.
Yes, yeah. I was a walk-in. I've forgotten the name of the movies, but you could see me walking down the street in it.
Right. I know one was Stand Up and Be Counted, and that was Helen Reddy's big break, and the song I Am Woman came from that movie.
Yes.
And you played a construction worker.
Yes.
And the other one I remember was Hotel, and you played the woman getting off the elevator with the big yellow hat.
I sure did. Well, you remember more things than I do. That's good. Yes, I remember that great big yellow hat too.
Why did you decide to get into acting?
I like to act. I always like to perform. And I enjoyed it a lot. And I was in several plays in Denver. And when I moved to Las Vegas, everybody thought that that's what I came to do. Father and I used to dance on TV in the bandstand.
Okay.
So that they thought I came here to dance also. However, that's not what I came here to do. I came here to be a teacher. So I had the opportunity to dance here and there, but not necessarily professional. And I just dabble in whatever I can get myself into.
Speaking of my father, tell us about the loves of your life.
Oh, well, I met your father when I was a teenager, about 16 years old, and I wasn't allowed to date until I got 16 anyway. And we dated, till we got to college, and we went to a different college than I went to. And so we had decided, okay, we'd do what we wanted to do then. So I started to date another young man, and someone told me that he was quite handsome and he should pay attention. A lot of girls were after that guy, but he wanted to date me, so that was nice. So the father came to my campus to see what's going on. So I stopped dating that other fellow. And then when I moved back to Denver, then we decided, when I finished college, we got married. And no, I take that back. I was still in school. Yeah, I was still in school when I got married. And one day he said, will you have a baby? And I said, yeah. I said, she ran me around and told everybody. But I was going to have a baby. So I did have a baby, which was this year. And much later, we discovered that he may have loved me, but I wasn't what he needed, what he wanted. So we divorced, and that's the time that I took my son and moved to Las Vegas.
Okay.
Now that was my first husband. I came to Las Vegas, and I was in my office as the director of student financial aid, and all of a sudden, this tall, handsome guy came in to fix the cash register, and I was near the cash register, so I decided to go over and introduce myself, and I did, and we liked each other right away, and his name was Jimmy Butler, and let's see, a couple of months later we got married, and we stayed married for many years. in so doing, I got a new son, so I have two sons, Jimmy Butler the second, and Ken Springs, so both of them. And we lived a very nice life right after we married. We were living in different apartments near each other. And we bought a lovely home, which we lived in for a long time. And we stayed together for many years until Jimmy retired. And he began to have problems with his right leg. And he cut off 2 toes, and they cut off 2 more toes, and they cut off half his foot, and then they cut off his leg. And he was always ready to do things, always strong. And when we went to get a leg for him, he started walking out the door, and the doctor said, "Come back, come back, come back." He was gone. So we traveled. We flew to some country. I forgot where it was now, but we lived together. And he decided he was not going to die. But one day, I woke up to go to work, and he got up with me, and we had breakfast. And what I would do, he had retired then, so what I would do is go to work. Then I'd come home and have lunch with him, and then I'd go back to teaching at the class. And I went to work that day, and I was trying to come home, and a student just kept wanting to talk to me. And I said, "I gotta go." Well, when I finally got rid of her, I got in the car, and there was all kinds of traffic on the street, and I couldn't go anywhere. I was just later and later and later. And then when I got home, I noticed that the front door was open. And there was newspapers out to be picked up by the trash man. And I walked in and found him, and he had died. He was just leaning against the bed. That hurt me really, really badly. I was devastated. So that was in December. So I went to visit my sister, and that's when I discovered the church that I was in. And I asked my sister to sell her house and come live with me, so she did, and she lived with me for several years. And about 3.5 years ago, I was helping teach a class at the church, and this gentleman who had been studying to be a practitioner also, but didn't come very much because he had to work, decided he wanted to be with me. The class that we had little sections that we had, so he decided to get into my section.
What church is it?
It was First Church of Religious Science at that time, and now it's Centers for Spiritual Living in Greater Las Vegas. It's religious science, and that is not Scientology, for goodness sakes. It's really a very good area. So where am I? So actually, I had him in my class, but because I was his teacher, he really couldn't date me at that time. When the class was over, he said, it was on a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and he said, I was with the group of friends, and I said, "We're going to movies." He said, "Okay, well, we'll go to movies with you." So we went to the movies, and when we got there, I drove my sister and a friend, and he saw me, and he says, "I'm paying for your way." I said, "Okay." So we saw the movie. I don't even remember what it was. Just about that time, my sister became ill, and she went to a hospital in Arizona. And I decided, I'm just not going to stay here by myself. I'm going to invite him over. So he came over, and he never left. So when my sister came back, he continued to live with us, and then we got married. So that is the man that I am with now, Stephen Douglas.
What has been your major motivation and all the accomplishments and the things that you've done?
I think it is to help people feel good, to help people do what they want to do, to live the way they want to live, to know that God is all there is. And God is always there with them. So they do not have to worry, because God is all there is. I want to make people feel happy and comfortable. And so that's what I do constantly.
Do you have any advice for the future generations?
Follow your dreams. Be the best you can be. Never feel like you have to just be rotten and just do anything. Always be kind to people. Love. Love is very important. Just love all the time.